you?
Good.
Good. Why don't you have a seat?
Okay.
My name's Artrea Smith. I'm a counselor in training here at Stevens College.
All right.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself and introduce yourself to me?
Sure. My name's Samantha. I'm 24 years old. I graduated from Mizzou in May of 2013 with a degree in nothing. And now I'm a student at Stevens. And I'm about to start a new job working with kids, so that's cool. That's pretty much it. Nothing too interesting.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Samantha. And I appreciate you coming in here to meet me and to talk with me. Wanted to kind of let you know a little bit about our process here at Stevens and what we're doing. A little bit of a background about me, that I've been in counselor training for a little under a year now. And so just getting used to helping clients and assisting you in the ways that I can. We're going to have 4 sessions together. And some of the things that I want us to be able to do during those sessions is to identify what your goals are, identify the priorities that you have that are really kind of a hot topic or a hot button for you at this time, things that may be causing you stress that you want to work through. And the helping process for me and you will be for us to work collaboratively. Collaboratively, is that the correct word? As a team, so that we can identify those goals for you and help you come up with the best decisions to make the changes in your life that you need to.
Sounds good.
Does that sound good? Okay.
Yeah.
So a couple of things before we get started. I want to let you know that I will be taking some notes during our session, and that's just so that I can keep track of everything and be able to have everything at my fingertips so that I can best help serve you. If you have any questions, if I'm speaking and you have any questions at any time, feel free to interject and ask me those questions. I want to, like I said, make you feel as comfortable as possible. And also want to make sure that you feel comfortable in voicing any concerns that you have with me. If you would not mind at this point, before we get started too, I do have to let you know a little bit about our sessions. And this is what we call informed consent for treatment. Basically what we are talking about is that all of our sessions are confidential. And that's to a certain extent. In counseling, there can be times where there are things that may cause us to have to either, inform the proper authorities on certain situations in the event that someone was intending to do harm to themselves or to someone else. I am mandated by law to be able to have to give that information to the proper authorities or the proper personnel. And there may be some things that my supervisors will take a look at as we go through our sessions. So in that regard, there's some things that are, again, bound by law that are not confidential. But for the most part, anything that you feel comfortable talking about with me, it will be kept here within our sessions. And then, again, we're going to have 4 sessions totaling 20 to 25 minutes each. And at the end of those sessions, our hope is that your goals, you'll be empowered to go out and make the changes that you need to in your life, and just really be focused on what you need to do. And that is pretty much it as far as that. I'm going to need you to kind of look this over, and again, if you have any questions on that, feel free to let me know, and I can explain it as best as possible. And then I will just need your signature at the bottom, and we can do that now, or we can do that towards the end of the session. Either way.
Yeah, I think this sounds good. Yes.
Okay.
No problem. All right.
Thank you, Samantha. All right. Now, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself and what brings you in here today?
Well, things are pretty good. My boyfriend, I've been with my boyfriend for about 2 years. And we live together with our cat, Abby. But here recently, I just feel kind of bullied by him. There have been some changes in my life, like I got a new job and I started school. And so I don't know, it just feels like he's trying to make decisions for me. I had a couple job interviews the other day, like last week, and I had to choose between the two jobs, and instead of following the job that had the better pay and the better schedule, I kind of followed my heart and went with the one that had the crappy schedule and maybe didn't pay as much. And he kind of made me feel stupid for that. Kind of made it about him. You won't get to see me as much, you know. So that kind of hurt my feelings. I kind of was wanting that positive affirmation about, yeah, you should do what you want with your life. You know, and just not feeling appreciated overall, I think. Just, you know, I do a lot for him that maybe he takes for granted. He doesn't have a driver's license, so, and he hasn't the whole time we've been together. So every morning at 5:45, I get up and I drag him to work, which I don't mind doing, but he just doesn't seem to thank me for it or care that, you know, I drag myself out of bed early when I don't need to be up. And then, you know, just like pressuring me to do things. When I, like, he never wants to eat at home and be healthy, and I want to, and then he doesn't drive, so he wants me to go get him food, and I don't want to leave the house either, and he doesn't want to come with me, but he always makes me feel bad, and then I have to go get him food, and it's just, it's frustrating, because I feel like I run a lot of errands for him, and I don't want to do it because he can't, and I don't get thanked for it, you know, or just making me feel silly for spending money on something that maybe he wouldn't have spent money on. It's just like, I know he loves me and he's not mean or aggressive, but, you know, just, I wish he'd realize we just see things differently, you know?
Okay. So let me just kind of paraphrase this just to make sure I've got the right idea.
Sure.
Basically, your main concern or primary point of concern right now is your relationship with your boyfriend or your significant other. You've been with him for a couple of years and you all live together. You feel as though he kind of persuades you or bullies you, maybe not necessarily intimidates you, but kind of belittles you into making the decisions that he wants you to make versus following your own heart or your own mind and going with the decisions that you want to make.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Okay.
Yeah.
So, in some of these instances that this is happening, which you've kind of explained some of them with your job and things like that, how does he talk to you, or how does he make you feel if you actually decide to go the way that you choose to versus the way he would like you to?
It's a good question. Well, he was really upset when I decided to take the job that I wanted versus the job that had, you know, the better hours. Which I understand because he wants to spend time with me and already our schedules are kind of clashing. But he got really pouty. I mean, he wasn't really mean, but it just made me feel like what I wanted and where my heart was wasn't important to him. Like the way he treated me about it, he didn't really want to talk about it. He acted a little grumpy, kind of pouted. Snide remarks are his favorite, you know, kind of being sarcastic. Or I needed to buy a camera for school, which I had planned on doing all along. And then when it came time to buy the camera, he was like, well, I have a camera you can use. So I was like, okay, that's cool, you know, bust it out. So turns out we didn't have, it was like older, and we didn't have the cable. We needed to hook it up to the computer, and I needed to be able to transfer it. And I drove all around town trying to find this wire, and it's so outdated, you can only get it on the internet. So I tried to tell him that, and he got really upset and was like, well, I'm sorry, my camera's not good enough for you, and all that. And I was like, it's not that it's not good enough, it's just like, I mean, I can buy a cheap camera and not spend a whole lot of money and it'll be okay. Like, but he felt like it was like his camera was something he was really proud of because it's like the one thing he spent a lot of money on. But that was also in like 2002 or something. So I didn't want to hurt his feelings, but I felt like I needed to buy a new camera, and then he just made me feel stupid for it. I needed it for school.
So how is that pretty much how you feel like in mostly all these instances, is that he makes you feel stupid or belittled?
Yeah. And I almost wish, like, I don't know, I don't need a pat on the back, but like getting into grad school was really hard for me, and he doesn't seem to recognize that or say, congratulations, I'm so proud of you, you're pushing yourself further in life. And I think it has a little bit to do with the fact that he didn't graduate college yet, and he feels like he failed there. I mean, I'm not trying to succeed to make him feel bad, but I would just like to know, like, hey, he's proud of me.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
Okay. So can you tell me then, coming into these sessions, what goals, what is it that you're wanting to achieve? Are you wanting to just create more harmony with you and your boyfriend, or you wanting to try to come up with some ways to make yourself feel more empowered, or kind of what are your thoughts, or what are your real needs at this point with our sessions?
Right. Well, I don't know. I guess I just want to work on communicating, with him in a more effective way.
Okay.
I think, having an outside opinion on maybe some non-offensive ways to approach him. I feel like, I don't know, maybe there's some feelings he has that, I don't know, are affecting the way he's treating me, and I want to be mindful of his feelings, but I want to find a way to let him know without him getting upset that, it's important for me to be independent. And I have been my whole life, and things are going okay for me, I care that, I love that he cares about how I'm doing, but I can control my own life.
Okay. Well, those definitely sound like some things that we can work on together. Just some ideas or strategies for you to have that better open communication with him, and hopefully, alleviate some of these feelings of pressure that you're having within your relationship.
Awesome.
So, okay. Well, our session is about over at this time.
Okay.
And we'll be meeting again next week. So some things that I want you to think about when you're home before our next session, you can maybe start thinking about some of the good qualities that you have in your relationship, and then maybe think of some of the things that you want to improve on.
Okay.
And kind of get those things in mind, and that's some more things that we can talk about for next time.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, I can do that.
All right. Well, it's been a pleasure meeting you.
Well, thanks for having me.
Look forward to seeing you again
All
next
right.
week, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, Samantha.